it was a task going all the way over there. There was Hard Rock Cafe over there. We used to love going and partying over there at that point in time. And somebody sets up a free zone company and he wants to do business with the mainland. That was before 1972 as well. I've never seen camels on Sheikh Zayed Road. One of the most important or most vital reasons of my success.
Welcome to the Corporate Connections Podcast UAE, the show where we sit down with the brilliant minds inside our community. I'm Nadia Francesca, your host, and I'm here with Shresht. He's going to tell us about his business and himself. So please take it away.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you for having me over here. My name is Shresht Sharma. I run the 3S Group. I am the founder and the CEO of the 3S Group. And under 3S Group, we have multiple verticals. One of them is 3S Business, which is corporate services, company formations, PRO services, and then we've got multiple other verticals as well.
Amazing. I think there's a lot for us to talk about and get through today.
Yes.
So I'm going to start this off with Dubai attracts a lot of people from around the world. So what made it so valuable and the city to actually start your business here?
Dubai or UAE is one of the safest countries and cities in the world. I came to UAE in 1995 with my dad. As a matter of fact, the Dubai World Trade Center, where we are right now, was literally the outer hemisphere of Dubai. And look at the way the city has grown. As a matter of fact, in my office, I have a photo of the aerial view of Dubai 1972 and the aerial view of Dubai 2022. And that in itself, that photo itself, shows you in how Dubai has grown in leaps and bounds. It is one of the most business-friendly cities or countries in the world, and it is the best place for children to grow up in, the most safest environment, and literally, I can't think of a better city for my children or for myself to stay in.
So the image that I'm getting in my head is the camels walking across Sheikh Zayed Road right now. Is that right?
Well, no, that was before 1972 as well. I've never seen camels on Sheikh Zayed Road, but yes, there was a lot of desert and sand dunes across. As a matter of fact, not many people know this, but there was where the Burj Khalifa was the defense roundabout, and they called it the defense roundabout because you had the defense over there. And as I said, then we had the American University, which came up somewhere in, I think, in the early 2000s or late 90s. And it was a task going all the way over there. There was Hard Rock Cafe over there. We used to love going and partying over there at that point in time. And it was literally a task that how are we going to go that far, which today is the center of the new Dubai. So that's how the city has grown.
It's amazing to have someone as well to even look at how it's gone from almost zero to where it is today,
Absolutely.
And how much it's grown over the past years.
And this is where it's commendable because whatever they had promised, I still remember there was a board on Sheikh Zayed Road, See History Rising. That time it was called Burj Dubai, which became Burj Khalifa. See History Rising, and there was a photo of Burj Dubai or Burj Khalifa. And 2010, I was there for the inauguration, and it was amazing that in 7 years, they made the world's tallest tower. They made the artificial islands, the Palm Islands, the Jumeirah Islands. I mean, it's phenomenal.
It is, and the architecture here is unbelievable.
Oh, yes, very beautiful.
So on this podcast, I'm be asking our guests two valuable questions. And I'd love to ask you these questions. So the first one is, what's the one belief that changed everything for you?
For me, I'm a very firm believer of relationships. And for me, I believe in having good relationships, good alliances. That's what I personally feel has seen me through. Again, as I said, I started this in 2003. And one of the most important or most vital reasons of my success would be having those relationships, whether it is the clients, whether it's the friends, the family, the community. The relationships are very important.
And I'm glad you touched on that because Corporate Connections, as we're on the podcast today,
Yes.
we are all about relationships.
Absolutely. And that's why I love being a member of Corporate Connections because you have some great people over there and it's some amazing relationships that you've fostered over the past few years. So, yeah.
And touching on Corporate Connections, how long have you been a member now?
I was the founding member of CC Dubai Chapter 1. 2019 is when I joined CC. 2020 is when it was launched. We were actually the COVID year launch. We were online as soon as we launched. So January we launched, and I think March we had to go online. So it was a very interesting first year.
I bet it was because trying to build relationships. Can you just talk to me about that? Building relationships online. So, like, you've met these people, but now you're building them online. How was that? How did it feel?
So it was actually a very interesting question because I had met the members over there. As I said, I was one of the founding members, but there were about 10, 11 members before me or 12 members before me. We just met a couple of months because I joined somewhere towards the end of 2019, and I knew them, but I didn't know them that well. And then world, as we know, came to a standstill. And the only respite we had at that point in time was, okay, once a month, or actually it was twice a month then, uh, a few of us are going to come online and we're going to meet each other, meet each other. And I personally really used to look forward to that. And I think that situation caused us to grow closer to each other because you couldn't meet anybody. And that's how that whole, e-meets and meeting the family. I think for me, I suggested after doing the corporate connection thing online that let's have family meets like this as well. So it was very interesting. Very, very harrowing times though.
Yes, yes, definitely. And going on to my second question is, what do you know now that you wish you knew at the start? So, starting your business, what do you know now?
One thing which I would love to have when my business started is the AI. I'm still learning AI, but I think that is changing businesses and life as we know it. And it's moving at such a fast pace. I mean, last year, same time, nobody knew about AI. And imagine in 1 year, nobody thinks besides AI. So that's how fast it's moved. I shudder to think, or I'm very amazed and amused to think what will happen a couple of years down the line. How life is going to change, how things are going to change. So that is something which I wish I had because ever since I've gotten to understand AI, we've implemented a lot of new systems. As a matter of fact, this week, and I take this opportunity of your podcast to announce that this week we will be launching our 3S Business app. And the 3S Business app is something where all your work, which is PRO related, corporate services related, are at the click of a button on your phone. And that's how convenient we want and seamless we want the services to be. So that is something which we're going to launch this week itself. And that's all because of having access to AI.
Amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We will put a link to that on the podcast as
Yes,
well.
yes, we would love that.
So, when it comes to AI, can you give me one maybe AI tool that you use in your business that is so valuable that other businesses should be using right now?
Well, I can't talk about other businesses because I personally feel that even when you talk about our members, most of the members are geniuses when it comes down to AI, and I'm just taking baby steps into it. But something which I just found recently was something called Claude. And for me, it's like a genie because anything I just press on it and I just, scratch it and there the genie appears and it answers all my questions. So I'm getting quite used to it and I'm really enjoying Claude. It used to be ChatGPT, but now I hardly go to ChatGPT and I'm onto Claude. And I'm sure by the end of this podcast, there'll be a few more interesting ones coming in. And when people hear me, they're going to call me and say, well, Claude is just the basic and you need to do that. I promise you that's going to happen. And I really want that to happen so that I can enhance my AI skills as well.
And talking about that, like, how do you think that, so ChatGPT and Claude, what's the difference?
As a layman, I think ChatGPT was amazing. But then I got introduced to Claude, and I feel that Claude is more detail oriented. It is more there's more research that happens in Claude, and the feedback that you get is more structured as compared to ChatGPT. This is my personal thing. I really do not know how they work, but this is how I personally perceive that.
Yeah, I've been looking at this myself, and I actually have started to go more towards Claude than ChatGPT.
Yes.
I still have both on hand.
Likewise.
And I think ChatGPT is like my best friend, where Claude's becoming my best friend.
Yeah,
and
similar.
maybe my other best friend's getting shoved out.
Yeah, I'm on a similar boat. But yeah, I think I'm now very confidently very confident to say that Claude has become my best friend. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
so I might be getting there myself.
That doesn't mean that my best friends, as I said, I believe in relationships. We're only talking about AI. So, we're not talking about any other best friends feeling bad.
Oh yeah, please don't. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty stuff of your business. So,
Sure.
3S Business Services help hundreds of entrepreneurs set up their business in the UAE every single year. For someone watching this right now who's thinking about making the move, whether it's changing countries for their business or actually starting a business from scratch, what's the first thing that they need to know before doing anything?
Very interesting question. And this is something which I often speak to my clients and speak to people who want to set up companies over here or who are moving their businesses to this part of the world. The first thing I tell them is you should know what you want from your business. And the reason I say this is more often than not, I come across clients who say we want to set up our company in the cheapest jurisdiction. Well, probably that cheapest jurisdiction does not work for you. Probably that cheapest jurisdiction is ideal for somebody else. So, what you want from your business is the first question that you should ask yourself. Uh, there is a free zone, there are offshores, there are mainland. All of them have different regulations, different rules. Now, with the corporate tax coming in, it even is more important for you to know what you want from your business, which jurisdiction you want your business to work for, whether you're doing international trade or international business or service, or you're doing it for the local market, or you're looking at the mainland. So, all these things play a very vital role in making that decision. And I often see people just making the decision and then realizing they probably made a wrong decision. And then to undo that gets even more tough. So take 5 minutes, answer this question, what do you want from your business? Then there are, corporate service providers who can assist you, people like us, you can go down to, who will understand your business requirements and then guide you to the best jurisdiction where you should have your company set up.
And there's like over 40 jurisdictions, right?
Yes.
So, someone needs help in looking into this. And I'm guessing,
Yes.
we've talked about AI, but sometimes AI can actually get it wrong as well.
So AI is as good as the information that's available.
Okay.
Many a times, even though, I love the AI, I'm really getting used to it, but you're very right. It's a very new technology and a lot of time information gets jumbled up. So you might not use AI to get the best jurisdiction. That's why I said come to service providers who will sit down with you, understand, and guide you to the right jurisdiction. Many a times, and I'll give you an example of this. Somebody sets up a free zone company and he wants to do business with the mainland. Now, by law, a free zone company needs a permit or needs to have an agency agreement to do business with mainland. So it's very important to know where you're doing your business, which jurisdiction are you going to serve, whether it's going to be local, international, and that's where that information is very important.
Yeah. Because we don't want to get fined. And there's sometimes you get big fines in Dubai. Well, in the
Find
UAE.
opening up bank accounts. Like I'll give you another example, which is a very big misconception. People set up mainland companies, and this might come as a big shocker to a lot of people. But when you set up a mainland company, especially a Dubai mainland company, you have to have an office. If you don't have an office, it is non-compliant. So you need to have an office, you need to have an Ejari, so an Ejari compliant office, whether that's in a business center or it's your independent office is acceptable. But a flexi office for a mainland license is a no-go.
So, and you actually have the offices, right?
We
Here.
we have our business
We're in
center.
one now, actually.
We actually have about 30,000 square feet of offices across Sheikh Zayed Road. We have about 70 serviced offices. All of them are Ejari compliant. And in Dubai World Trade Center, the beauty is the offices are both free zone and mainland because I've taken permission in the business centers over here for free zone and mainland. So in your single office, you can have a free zone license and you can have a mainland license because they have got compliance from both the departments.
Amazing. So, and hopefully he will give me a tour later on of all the
Sure,
offices.
would love to.
Because we're in one right now in the podcast. And there's a few podcast studios here, actually, isn't there?
Yes.
So I'd quite like to have a look at them as well. Moving on from that, I want to ask you, Dubai moves very fast.
Yes.
So what's the biggest change you've seen when setting up a business here in the last few years?
Nadia, you're asking me some amazing questions. This is again a great question. Dubai and UAE have moved extremely fast. As I said, I've got this photo, 1972 and 2022. And when you see that photo, and I would love for that photo to be shown on the podcast just for them to get a reference. It's a world of change. It's a sea of change. Likewise, the regulations have changed. In 2022, the entire civil law was, updated. There were a lot of new rules which were brought in. The crimes which were criminal cases became civil cases. Check bouncing to a certain level was a civil case rather than a criminal case. So a lot of changes have happened, and it's very important for businesses to adapt. A new rule which has just come in for the benefit and betterment of employees is that every company needs to pay their WPS, their wage protection, their salaries by the first of every month. This was implemented just before the Eid holidays in May. So these are great rules, these are great regulations, the great changes which are happening, which are going to help for the betterment of the country, the community, the city. And it's very important to be updated with these regulations. We, from our part, every fortnight send out a newsletter. And our objective of sending out that newsletter is to have our clients updated with all the regulations, all the changes which happen in the region, so that they can be updated with everything. So being updated with the regulations, don't fall for the misinformation. I always joke that you meet 5 people in Dubai, they'll give you 6 solutions, and mostly 7 of them are wrong. Because again, and it's not anybody's fault, but it's misinformation. There's somebody who's been living here from 1960s. He's still in his mind is following the rules which were applicable then. Then somebody came in the 70s. He's following those rules. You meet people from the previous generation, and they've got a different set of rules which they'll tell you, which probably have become redundant today. So it's very important to move with the regulations, change with the times, and be updated.
Yeah, and I guess that's what you get in your packages when you're registered with 3S Business.
Yes.
You get all the regulations.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so important. Like anyone that lives in the UAE will tell you that you have to follow the regulations here,
Absolutely.
or you will get fined.
Absolutely.
Systems work.
Systems
So
work. Systems
if
always
you
work.
know the regulations and you follow the system, I guarantee that whatever you're doing, whether it's business, whether it's just living your life, things start to work out for you.
Absolutely. And that's where regulations and following the regulations becomes very important.
Yeah. And my final question for you on business today is, beyond the paperwork and the license, what do you see as the biggest mistake new businesses make in their first 12 months in the UAE?
We have mentioned a few mistakes. As I said, making sure that you have an HRE compliant office when you're setting up a company in mainland. And the importance of that, again, I want to reiterate, is when you set up a license, there is the Immigration Authority, the Ministry of Labor, the Mohore. They come in for an inspection to check your facility out before they can issue visas for you. The banks come in for an inspection to see your facility before they can open up a bank account for you. So imagine if you're doing all this on a flexi office or a flexi desk, it's not right. And this in itself is proof that you need to have a facility. Whether it's in a business center, it's an independent facility, it has to be JARI compliant. Don't have a short-term facility, because then they are coming to that location on a short-term basis, whereas you want to be here on a long-term basis. So, that's something, that's a mistake which people make. Not planning their licenses, not planning their business activities well in advance. And what I mean by that is, I want to set up the cheapest jurisdiction. Might be very good idea for a startup, but might not be a great idea for a corporate who does not get any value from the cheapest jurisdiction he goes to. So, and there is not much of a difference between the jurisdictions. As you said, these 40 plus jurisdictions that are over there, the costings is not very different. Maybe a few percentage here and there, but in the long run, it all evens out. Again, very important, what you want from your business is where you should set up your business.
And at 3S, you do all the jurisdictions,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Not only do we do the advise people with their businesses, once you've set up your business, and this is also a very important aspect, structuring it becomes very important. I always say that if you want your business to be given down generations, it needs to be structured in the right format. And that is something which we do. That is something which I specialize in. So that is again something which is a 3S speciality, helping
Amazing.
people with the right structures.
And just to close this, okay, we've had a great conversation today, and
You've been great.
been a pleasure to have you
Thank
on the
you.
Corporate Connections podcast. And it's my closing question, and it's one piece of advice you will give to anyone building their empire.
Structure right. Structure right, structure for the family. And if you've structured your business in the right sense, your business will go for generations. Structuring is the key.
And as we talk about that, it goes for generations. Yours is going for generations at the moment. So tell me about your business. What is under the 3S group?
Under the 3S group, we have 3S Business Services, which is the corporate services division. Then we've got Biz City Business Center. As I said, we've got about 75 offices, HRE compliant across Sheikh Zayed Road. We're looking at expanding that division. We're looking at a facility in Abu Dhabi. We're looking at a facility in the new part of Dubai. So that is something we are aggressively looking at. Then we've got 3S HR, which is our HR wing. HR is again a very interesting aspect. There are some amazing things we are doing under 3S HR, business in a box, where a startup or a new company can just use the 3S HR facilities and get their staffing done, get an HR audit done. All that is there. Then we've got Accurate Accounting, which is our accounting division. Then we have the new company, which is our media company, which is Squirt Media and Events. And then we've got the MH Advocates, the law firm, which is our sister concern. So yeah, this is a little part of our group. And then we've got a EPC company called MRK EPC, where we do EPC contracts. We've just completed a cement plant in Afghanistan.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so these are companies under the 3S group.
Amazing. So, if anyone wants to start up a business or move their business from a different country, you're the person to talk to.
We are the one-stop shop.
They have everything that you ever need to start your business.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you today.
Thank you very much. This was very interesting. I was very nervous initially, I must confess, but I think you were amazing and you made this so easy for us. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. And it's been such a valuable conversation. Guys, if any of you are looking to set up a company or you're looking to move your business from a country to the UAE, you need to speak to 3S Business. And where can we find you, Shresh?
You can find me on the 21st floor of the Dubai World Trade Center. That's where our corporate office is. Our websites and our contact numbers, I'm sure, would be displayed at the bottom of this podcast. So you can reach out to us over there as well. Our website is www.3sgroupme.com. And the corporate services website is www.3sbusinessme.com.
Amazing. So the link will be on the podcast, and if you are on YouTube, it will be going across the screen right now. So click on that if you want to find out more about 3S Business, and I will see you with one of our other members at the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you.